Welcome back, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great time, great day. Enjoy watching our podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe and follow. And today we have Duke with us. How was your day, Duke?
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing?
I'm doing good,
So, Duke,
Sitting
where are
here
you
on
calling from?
Spartanburg.
Right.
Actually, right now we're in Simpsonville, South Carolina. So, but I work out of Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Okay. Now, what do you do for a living?
I work for Par Grading. We're a grading outfit. We, do a bunch of commercial work. I'm a foreman for the company. We lay pipe. We make the world a little flatter every day and make sure all the poop runs downhill.
Awesome. That's what you want.
Exactly. There's a problem when it starts to go back uphill, so we don't like to deal with those days at all. But they come. So,
And a little bit about your background. Why did you get into blue collar? Was your dad blue collar? You have any blue collar in your family?
my dad was a gunsmith when I was growing up, and him and my grandfather, they owned a lot of property, and they had their gardens and their shops behind their houses and everything, and they just always worked. And so, I just kind of learned from that. And I don't like being inside.
Yeah.
I have to be outside doing something. I was actually in the pool business for about 20 years.
Okay.
And I did everything from building pools to just working on them to just cleaning them. I tried doing the warehouse stuff there for a while with the pool business, but just couldn't get into it. I couldn't stay inside. I love to be outside.
Yeah.
And I don't like doing the same thing every day. So, I just got into something. And plus, I'm a big ass kid. And what big kid doesn't like to run heavy machinery? You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
I mean, I always used to have the little Tonka toy dump trucks playing out in the front yard in the dirt.
Yeah.
And now that, now I get to run them every day. And
That's right.
It's fun, and there's no better people than the people that I work with, just the construction guys. I mean, you do have your, excuse me, but your assholes, but then you got your everyday people, that even the assholes you like, but still, you got your average Joe Blow that is just a good guy, and I like working with good guys,
Yeah.
So, but I mean, really, my uncle got me into running the heavy machinery because he wanted me to dig some pools for him. And so I did that for about 5 years, running a skid steer, and thought I was high on my horse then. I knew how to run equipment. That wasn't the case. I went to my first grading company, and we had actually, the guy I was working for digging the pools, we had actually, I'd been on a track hoe, but, I went to this grading company several years later, and they're like, well, can you run anything? I said, well, I've had a lot of experience on a track hoe and a lot of experience on a skid steer. They're like, okay, well, good. Well, they hire me, and I go out there, and I've got to cross my hands to run this track hoe, the track hoe in backhoe mode. And so they didn't run it like that, so I didn't know how to run a track hoe. I had to learn everything else over again, And then the skid steer that they put me on, that's kind of funny. I was used to the pedal skid steers, the old school skid steers.
Put you on like a Caterpillar with a joystick.
Yeah. And now they put me on the ones that are like just the two joysticks you use with your hands instead of the pedals to fuck it up and down and do all that, And they told me to get on that skid steer and go clean out in between two ponds so they could lay down some pipe. The walls were maybe 6 inches, from each side of the skid steer. I hit them walls 150 times that day. And the guy was like, what are you doing? I'm slamming back and forth into the walls. He said, I thought you could run a skid steer. I said, yeah, but where's the one with the pedals at? He said, we don't have one of those anymore. This is the new style. I was like, well, shit. I guess I can't run equipment then. I got to learn everything over again. But, it's a good time. I mean, I learned and I progressed through the years. It is what it is. It's outdoors, something different every day. And I just like the people that I work around. I don't think I'd like to go sit in the office and be around a bunch of people in suits every day. I like the people I'm around.
Yeah, when I worked in the mine here in Florida, my daughter, she didn't really understand what mining was, but when people would ask her, what's your dad do for a living? She would tell them, my dad digs alligator water. And they'd be like, what does that even mean? She was like, he digs alligator water. And they were like, okay. She didn't know. But yeah, then I'd have the teachers be like, what do you do for a living? I'm like, I'm a rock miner. She's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite piece of equipment to run?
Probably the skid steer or the track hoe. I can't stand the dozer.
Nobody can.
I just spent so many years on a skid steer that, I can't see what I'm moving in front of me on a dozer. So it aggravates me. I'm okay on it. I can push some dirt around, but I'm by far your finisher on a dozer. I'd rather, if I had a dozer sitting there and a skid steer, they said, okay, go do this, I'd go jump on the skid steer in a heartbeat. I don't care if it's smaller or what. I'm just better at it, But probably the track hoe and the skid steer, I have a lot of fun on, that back dump can get pretty squirrely too every once in a while. I was in one of those for, about 3 years when I first got started in this business, and until I flipped the cab over, and then my boss man said, nah, we're going to put you back on the skid steer.
I've seen them haul trucks flip over so many times, it's not even funny.
Yeah, well, I've seen a couple flip over, but normally just the bed would flip over.
Yeah.
The track hoe would come up and just pull it back up on his tires. Well, no, that's not my case, brother. I flipped the cab, and I left the bed sitting upright. Yes. And the bad thing about it was it had like 60 hours on it.
It was
brand damn new. But, it was all right. It really wasn't my fault. The shelf gave it, but it was, and I'm telling you what, you would never imagine how slow that actually happens.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever you're inside of that cab and it flips over, it's literally like slow motion. It's nuts, but I don't know. It's fun. It's all of a good day's work, brother. You'll have that on them big jobs.
I think Traco is probably one of my favorite things to run as a Traco.
Yeah.
I've run the dozers. I ran a D10 for a little bit, and after you get out of the D10, it was like your kidneys were rattled loose. It was so rough that by the time you were done, you didn't want to get back in it. Yeah. All day.
It was funny. About 2 years ago, we were doing a big apartment complex, and one of my guys that I worked with, Donald, probably about 15 years prior, he built a hotel. Well, right across the street from the hotel, they dumped a bunch of concrete and trash and garbage and everything. Well, 15 years later, here we go putting up an apartment complex, right on top of where he dumped all this concrete. Because he was in a back dump back then. Well, when we started the apartment complex, he was on a dozer. He ran over every rock, every piece of concrete and everything, on that dozer. He was not having any fun.
No.
He's the one that put it there. So you can only blame yourself there, Donald. But man, I like to have fun. I can be an ass, I guess. my guys are in the truck with me now. They're eating lunch. But, I can be an ass, but at the same time, I think I'm a pretty good guy. I like to have fun, cut up, but when it comes time to work, let's just get the job done. It's time to cut up and play. Let's cut up and play. But
That's awesome.
I'm just a worker. I like to do shit. I can't just sit still. I have to be doing something all the time. And it has to be outside. I don't care. I can't be inside. The only time I want to be inside is when I'm laying my head down or spending time with a woman.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah. But no, that's good that you can have a good time with your guys and stuff. I worked with an old school miner that he was my boss, and man, I mean, he was old school. You fucked up, and he would let you know real quick.
Yeah.
But same thing. He would have fun. He'd throw jokes at you and stuff. And he was an old man. He was in his 70s. But when it come to working, he'd work right beside you. And that just made you want to work even harder, because when your boss is sitting there working right beside you and getting the job done, you got a good boss.
Yeah. I try to be that way. They might not agree. But I got Blake going like this right here. You do this much. But I mean, I will. I don't have a problem getting in the ditch with a shovel. I don't have a problem getting in a manhole full of roaches, and shit running down the line. I don't have a problem doing it. I do what I have to do as long as we get it done. And, but I mean, at the same time, I like to sit my ass up on the track hoe and just point and tell them what to do, I mean, I have earned that right a little bit.
I was saying, yeah, you put your hours in, you put your time in, you get that right.
Right, But I try to share it a little bit, I got, Blake, the young guy that works with me. He didn't know a whole lot whenever he started, but now he's pretty good on the skid steer. He can run track hoe a little bit. And then we got the old man behind me. He's been in and out of the business for a long time. He can do just about anything, so I try to be fair and let everybody take a break and do what they need to do every once in a while and get off their feet, Yeah. That's what it's about. Let's just work together and get it done.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, everybody's happy. The job goes a lot easier, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. So you said you're married. Do you have kids?
I have a daughter, yes. My daughter actually just moved back in with me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, got her back with me now, trying to help her out. She's a good girl. I mean, doesn't have any big problems, but just had a relationship issue and, a vehicle issue. And so I'm just trying to help her get her finances right and get her back on the right track and just be there for her any way I can, So she's got a little bit more of a travel to and from work now, but, put her in my vehicle so she can get back and forth to work and not have to depend on anybody else, and built her a little apartment kind of thing. So she has her own space. And really, we bought a piece of property. Stacy and I bought a piece of property about a year and a half ago, and there was no house on it or anything. So we plan on building, but we had a 33-foot travel trailer, so we just put it over there on the property. I've already got septic, power, water, and all that kind of stuff on the property. And I put a little 12 by 24 building out there for my workshop. It's no longer my workshop. I just kind of built a little studio apartment for my daughter, which is nice. She likes it. It's not permanent. I'm hoping in the next 12 months, we'll have us a house sitting on the property.
That's awesome.
But you gotta take things one step at a time. Got to pay off my truck. Got to pay off the land, and then go buy the house, and that way all the bills aren't there at one time. And
yeah, that shit gets expensive pretty quick. I know down here the property is it's absurd.
Okay, hold up. Everybody's been asking me, where in the hell is down here?
Down here, I'm in Florida.
Okay, what part of Florida?
I'm in Palm Beach.
Okay. All right.
West
We
Palm Beach. So we're in South Florida.
oh man, behind
Everything
me.
is
I'm
ridiculously
sorry.
expensive. Huh?
He just moved up here from Florida about a year
Whereabouts?
ago.
Yeah, I work for Florida DOT out of Volusia County, Daytona.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you were north of me at Daytona. You were way up there.
Yeah, I try
Yeah,
to
we're
come
down
to
here.
Florida. I try to come to Florida once a year. My wife, Stacy and I, we go to Sanibel and Captiva
Okay.
off the coast of Fort Myers.
Yep.
Yeah, we go there and try to spend about 10 days out there on the island for about for a little bit on vacation. Try
Yeah,
to
it's
get
nice to visit.
everybody.
Boy, does it get hot down here every day. Even wintertime, I think, maybe we'll get to the 40s if we're lucky.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah. No, we try to come in April, and it's still hot in April, but
Yeah.
it's not too bad.
It's good fishing. Fishing's good down here.
Yeah.
We do a lot of that.
We last time we were down there, we took the kayaks and we were right there at the causeway going into Sanibel. And I've never seen my wife paddle so fast in her life. But there was something, I never saw it. She saw it. But I'm a little bit further out than her. I was right up underneath the bridge. And she saw something come out of the water and slapped the water right behind me. And it was loud. I don't know what it was, but it was loud. And it made me rock back and forth a little bit. And she was, probably about 30 or 40 yards away from me. And before I could turn around and look back, she was about 80 yards away from me. And she was back on land quicker than she could. She's back on land quick. She's like, I wasn't staying out there with you. I was like, well, what about you weren't going to try to save me? She said, no, you're okay. You can save yourself.
I'd say about a month ago. No, probably a little more than a month ago. Me and a couple buddies, we went out fishing to a pretty big canal we go to that's full of alligators. And we're fishing and we're getting close to this boat ramp that's way from where we dropped in. We're a different boat ramp. And there's a older man and older woman kayaking. Each, they got their each kayak and they're kayaking and they got the full vest on and like they, first time ever in the water kind of deal. And she said hi and we, hey, how's it going and stuff. And she's like, this water's just beautiful, isn't it? And I was like, you guys, you from here? No, we're visiting and we decided we'd love to come kayaking. I was like, well, just be careful. She goes, why do you have a gun on the side of you? I said, because it's about 10 to 11 foot alligators through this whole canal. And they were like, what? I said, yeah, like there's big alligators. I said, I don't carry a gun on the side when I fish for no reason. I said, you better be careful. They went straight to the boat ramp and got out and was done. Good choice.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be in that small kayak with a 10-footer around me.
Yeah, I would have too. Yeah, I don't do a whole lot of freshwater fishing, but I love to saltwater fish. My grandfather had a house, what they used to call Long Beach, in North Carolina. I'm not sure what they don't call it Long Beach anymore. But anyway, my dad used to take me down there as soon as within the first week of me getting out of school. He'd pack me up and he'd drive to the beach. He'd spend about a week there and he'd leave me there through the whole entire summer. And so I would get up literally at 4:30 every morning and go fishing with my grandfather. And we'd troll for Spanish. We'd troll for bluefish. We'd fish for kings. We did it all. And in the evenings, we'd sit out there on the dock, fish for flounders and, little spots and croakers and stuff like that. He caught his own bait. He never spent a dime on any bait. I'll put it to you like this. My grandmother, I remember this one time she was up there. She was fixing to start cooking dinner. She's like, Duke, she's like, go down there in the freezer and pull something from 1976. It was 1985. She's telling me to go get some fish from 1976. All of them
Frozen,
were
it's still
parked.
good.
I mean, and it was good. Like we just caught it the day before. You know, I mean, it was
Yeah.
great. It was great. But I mean, I love saltwater fishing.
Yeah.
It's just the fight. I guess it's more the fight. More is, I don't care what fish it is. I like that fight on the other end of the line.
Yeah,
So,
I think freshwater is definitely a better fight. Now, unless you get, I don't know, in South Carolina, if you have, or your buddy behind you, he might know. Down here in Florida, we have snakeheads. I don't know
yeah.
if you guys have those up there.
No.
You know what I'm talking about, though, the snakeheads?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Those freshwater fish, now down here, they're invasive. They're not native. They eat everything, but they get huge. And you hook up on one of them, you swear you're saltwater fishing because they fight hard and they smash your bait. They
Oh,
are
really?
so aggressive. They eat all the bass, though,
Yeah.
but those are good fight in the freshwater. That or peacock bass. Peacock bass are really fun to fight. But saltwater, I like
Never
going
had
for
it.
snook and tarpon and all that.
Yeah. No, I'm actually just now getting into hunting. That's why I told you earlier. I had a great afternoon yesterday. I used to hunt with my dad when I was a kid, and we used to go dove hunting, duck hunting, and turkey hunting, stuff like that. But he was never a big deer hunter. At least he never took me if he was. But I was never really sure if I ever shot anything when I was a kid because my dad was always standing right there shooting beside me at the same time. And yeah, I've seen some duck fall out of the sky and doves hit the ground and stuff, but I'm not sure if I'm the one hitting them or not. He would tell me I shot it, but I wasn't sure. But I haven't done any hunting in years. Well, I've got about 15 acres of woods beside of my property. Then I asked the guy, can I hunt this if I wanted to? He was like, sure, go ahead. Well, my driveway, I've built a privacy fence running all the way down my driveway. My driveway butts up, the end of it's right up against the wood line. Well, off my privacy fence, I built like a little shed for my lawnmowers and tillers and stuff like that. I put a platform roof on top of it. All my buddies think I'm nuts because I was like, yeah, I'm going to sit right up on top of that roof and I'm going to get me a couple deer this year. And I'm talking about, I've got one guy that I work with, Scott. He's like, I work so I can hunt. That's the only reason I work, so I can spend money on hunting. I'm like, okay. And he's just went and spent a couple $1,000 on corn and everything, a couple of weeks ago. And he's got all the gear, he's got all the stands and everything. And he drives 45 minutes away from his house to go fishing or to go hunting. He's also a big fisherman. But anyway, I'm sitting at the end of my driveway on top of this roof on a bar stool with the back on it that rotates, goes around and around and around. I can look any direction. I've spent $12 on a burlap camouflage sheet, and I've got it hanging on a limb and the tree that I can reach out and touch. And I've seen I went and bought a deer camera. So I've got about $70 in a deer camera, $12 in a damn burlap sheet. All the wood that I used was free off of a job site from my deer stand or my rooftop, whatever you want to call it. I call it my deer stand now. That's what I'm using it for. But, I've been sitting here, I've been hunting. This is the first year I've ever bought a hunting license. The first time I've ever gone deer hunting, I've only been up there 4 times with the rifle in my hand. Yesterday I go up there. 45 minutes later, I'm tracking a deer that I just shot at. And I find him, and he's dead, a little 5-point buck, about 150 pounds. I mean, people think I'm crazy. Yeah, you ain't ever going to shoot nothing on top of that rooftop. You got to go out in the woods. You got to get away from everybody. I got my wife's uncle lives beside him. He sits out there in his chair drinking Budweisers all day long, talking to his buddies, just as loud as can be, you know, crushing cans, throwing them in the trash can, just making as much noise while the deer are sitting there eating 30 feet away from him, you know. So I had a good day yesterday.
That's awesome.
You know, killed my first deer. I went to the processing plant last night and talking a bunch of trash to all the guys that were dressed in full camo and everything. I'm sitting there in blue jeans and a blue par shirt that I just got out of work with.
Yeah. Work boots, everything good. You're ready to go. Yeah.
I mean, come on. I looked at one guy. I think I kind of pissed him off because I looked at him and he's in full camo gear. I mean, looks good, you know, looks like a damn hunter. I just look at him. I said, damn, I guess I need to go buy me some camos now, huh? He just kind of looked at me. He's like, well, what were you wearing? And I just kind of looked at my shirt. I said, I was wearing this and blue jeans. And he got mad and walked away. My stepson's standing beside of me, and he just kind of nudges me on the shoulder, and he just kind of shook his head like, don't do that. He's probably still got his gun in his truck. You want to leave and go home, don't you?
What color shirt did you have on?
Huh?
What color was your shirt?
Blue.
Blue. You need to do it in like a highlighter yellow and like record yourself shooting a deer out of your makeshift tree stand in a highlighter yellow shirt.
I'm going to. By God, I'm gonna go live. I'm really fixing to fuck with people because I'm gonna go live on TikTok while I'm hunting.
You should. You should. That, and especially if you're in that and you have that up there, people are gonna tune right in and be like, "What is he doing? What's he hunting? He's not no camo, bright high vis on, reflective." You know, if you land a deer, so many people will be so mad.
I'm gonna have to go get a damn GoPro now. I'm telling you, look, because I'm telling you, I got an 8-point buck that I want to get. I want to get him so I can get his full mount on his head, and I'm gonna get him in that high vis yellow. I'm gonna get him high vis yellow on top of my rooftop. Watch me.
I'm gonna wait for that video because that's gonna be hilarious. That video will go viral. Every hunter will be so mad, so pissed off.
Hey, look, my buddy Scott that tells me I work to hunt. That's the only reason I work. I sent him pictures last. Now, this man has not ever, in the last 5 years I've known him, he's never not answered a text message or a phone call from me. But last night I sent him pictures of me and the deer. No response. Nothing. Just dead silence.
Yeah,
was he at work? Hell no, he wasn't at work. He was probably in the woods somewhere. I think he's trying to build him a little shed at his house to get on top of that.
Yes. Oh, boy. That's awesome.
No, but it's all in fun, man. You know, I'm not your... I mean, I get an idea and I just run with it. If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. I don't care. It's just, you know, let's do it.
That's awesome.
You can't say no. You can't say no. You always just got to say yes. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Oh, man. Well, Duke, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day on your lunch break to come and talk with us. I absolutely had a blast talking to you. And if you get that deer in that high vis, we're doing another episode on this.
Hey, I'm a get him. We're gonna stay in.
I got faith in you. I got faith.
I will let you know, brother.
Yes.
I'm gonna go buy a
video
the whole damn thing myself.
Please videotape that. Oh man. But once again, I do appreciate. What's that?
I said I had fun. I appreciate it. Had a good time.
Awesome. See, it wasn't that bad, was it?
No, man. And I didn't have to do anything with my hands.
I told my hands. I told you it's easy. All right, it was a blast, man, and I'm very honored you come on, especially on your lunch break. That's awesome, and we'll definitely keep in touch. Definitely gonna need to know if you got this deer. And
Sure.
Everybody that's watching, make sure you tune in for the next episode and like and subscribe. And Duke, once again, thank you so much for coming on.
Man, thank you. Thank you.
All right, it was awesome. You have a good day, man. Be safe.
You do the same, brother.
All right, thank you.
Next time.
Bye.